What's popular YouTube? Another day, another demo. Woo! You thought yesterday was spicy. Get the Scoville reader out, okay? Get the Geiger counter. This one's going to be radioactive. Who do you think is the number 12 player of 2021? Now that you've made your companion list as well. So before we spoil the rest of this top 20, I'd like to tell you about the sponsor of this video, xplay.gg. Xplay is a site that you can start your day on. Cat Cow, Morning Coffee, and Xplay. Open it up and find a bespoke list of CSGO servers that allows you to do everything you normally do in your warm-up while keeping track of stats. Also, make sure to play and get through all the challenges and climb those leaderboards. Find a bespoke list of CSGO servers that allows you to do everything you normally do in your warm-up. B-Hop, Retake, Surf, KZ, and even a special section for custom bots that they've made. These are bots that can be played at 3 different levels: medium, hard, and cheater. If you're feeling nuts, of course. All of these are a great way to warm up a piece and sharpen your aim and crosshair placement for the day without going up against toxic all-chat ragers. What fun. Make sure to support the channel and check out this great service for CSGO players. Xplay all day. Link in the description to join up. Launders, I wanted to put this player 3 spots up. No, I didn't make a top 20. I just know that this player is 12 and not 15. Okay? I did an impression of you. I'm just kidding. You're not like that. You're like this player, who is somebody that has had probably the biggest glow up in CSGO from every aspect, besides maybe Pimp. He's the player who some would say is the pride and joy of North America. He's a land beast. He's a prodigy. I think he's found the right home. And he's a player who might be on a major winning and tournament winning team next year. That's right, you guessed it, it's Twists. Twist, baby. Canadian superstar. Hailing from Kelowna, BC, Twists. The guy who had a absolutely outstanding year is kind of put in the same boat as Rops, who had a team that had a very weird year. You know, a decent start to the year, a really bad mid part of the year, where, you know, even I was calling for like Rain's head, but after the lands came back, my sincerest to Rain, he actually got it together for basically every single event. I don't think he wasn't good enough to make it into the top 20, I think, stats wise, but really picked up everything on the big events front throughout the rest of the year. I think there was a big correlation between Rain's performance and FaZe's rankings, but no matter what was going on throughout the year, Twist was having a fantastic time of it. And unlike with Mouse Sports, and the reason that I'm putting Twist ahead of Rops, it's actually a couple of reasons here. Number one, they had one good deep run at a very important tournament, 15 maps played at Cologne. And I'm looking through this, and like there is some inconsistency in some of the matches, including, you know, where they lost and whatever. But overall, like, we had some actually unbelievable maps from Twist, and they like stand out in memory. Some really beast performances, and that was the same case throughout the year. I think we saw the peaks. We saw the peaks of Nico, the config peaks for Twist, a rifler who is out there being elite as hell, but having not the same consistency, but on his bad days was still putting up the 16 frags, doing well enough, like not that inconsistent. So I think that's where it put me this year in terms of, you know, where he stands in the pantheon of these players, of all these great players. He had a very good year in terms of his stats overall, just on a consistent basis. He didn't drop off much versus the tier 1, played not a significant. There's some other players who have played more maps, of course, but he played a significant number. I played 2 times more maps versus tier 1 players than Rops did, so that weighed on my decision. And yeah, just liking Mr. Twist a lot this year. So yeah, what can you say? It only came up pretty much when they played some of their big events, and I don't think he was a liability whatsoever. Solid performances around. All the way around from Twist. And Brokey and Twist were the 2 pillars of the roster in terms of just the heavy output throughout the year. Twist doing it with a rifle and just having some more, I think he's a more well-rounded player, obviously, than Brokey is. And less questions on that front. Like, I think we're watching Twist continuously in his prime, basically, which is cool because he was one of the two probably best players during their whole 2019 Grand Slam run, and I think a welcome addition to FaZe. And yeah, that's for that reason I got him in number 12. Huge respects to Twist. So why don't we go ahead, hop in the game. I actually watched the wrong demo for this game, but it was still a really great demo, and I only realized throughout the end of the game. But I was supposed to be watching this Ancient game where he had like even crazier stats, but it was also still a great map from him. So it ended up being a good one. So it's quite funny. So I hope you enjoyed the demo. It's one where we watch Twist Faye. Mostly, I think we watched both halves, but I think CT side was quite interesting, seeing how he really pulls the map together from a CT rifling perspective inside of snipers. And on T side, just the guy who found impact while he's defaulting. He's a two-way player for sure in both these matches, actually. But yeah, if you want to watch this one, this is also probably a good one. So hope you enjoy it. Get in there, boys. It's time to watch the demo. Why do we love Twists? We love Twist because, first of all, he plays on the GOAT res. 1280 by 960. 4-3. Why is it the GOAT res? Because the GOAT plays on it, man. Secondly, he's optimizing the view model and everything for maximum style, right? Fashion souls, as we like to say in the Dark Souls community, all right? Fashion souls is more important than being good at the game. Same goes for Counter-Strike. Twist just manages to have it all. Eat his cake and have it, you know what I'm saying? As well. Have and eat the cake. So, here it is, Twists. He managed to not only, he got like LASIK, he got the perfect, he could dye in his hair so well. I mean, full credit, man. You can start dyeing your hair, but to do it like Twist does, it's another level. Like, when I saw him at the Blast Fall Final in person, I was like, he actually nailed it. His hair was whiter than the actual clouds in the sky and looked softer as well. And probably wasn't full of water and precipitation and stuff. Twist, he's nailed it. Like, he's just had the biggest glow up of any player. Yeah, well, I mean, there's players who have lost a ton of weight and done some amazing stuff, like Pimp, for example. But in terms of just, I mean, he went from, he is like the Mean Girls kind of glow up. You know what I'm saying? The Lindsay Lohan of Counter-Strike, if that's a compliment. I don't know. And just like Lindsay Lohan, he's a great guy. And well, like, you know what I'm saying? So basically, Twist this year, he joined a team that I think fits his brand really well, right? No chance he wins this, is there? Okay. He joined a team that fits his brand really well, which I know it's a silly thing. And I know that we want to leave that kind of stuff to the suits, right? Where they're like, we should pick up this player because he's from Brazil. And if we pick him up from Brazil, then we get 10,000 likes on every tweet. You know? And it balances out the other 4 players that don't have any fans. And it's like, okay, that's stupid from our perspective, where we're like, we just want the best players on the best teams so they own. But I think what you got with Twists on this roster, not that Liquid weren't a good fit for him, but I feel like he's so perfect for FaZe Clan in terms of his image and everything. Like, first of all, when we used to go to LANs, back in Blast London 2019, since then my back has been injured, so I haven't been half the same person. It's been so long, but that LAN, I remember I was in the gym and I was being pretty disciplined, and I was there early in the morning. Twist was the only person in the gym earlier than me. I think I was getting in there around 7 o'clock. Twist is in there 6:30. He's doing like full-on core workouts at 6:30 in the morning, which for those of you who go to the gym, you know how unfun it is to work the core, first of all. To do it that early too, and he was on point. He had some health issues that I don't know if he's ever really talked about publicly, but he was just, had to figure out some stuff and really grabbed it by the horns. Then he got his nice ass tattoos, got his hair in order, and all the while he's kept the same aim, And Twist is a ho-oh. He is one of the players who has the mechanics of someone who could just be a brick that just has good mechanics. But instead, we got a player who's as good as he is and is also as smart as any of the other top players. Twist in the 2019, arguably their best player in the entirety of that, Grand Slam run that Liquid were able to win. Top 2 for sure, but in the form that he was in, was just one of the scariest land players that we've ever seen. And we go back a few years with Twists, and he was this little, I'm sure maybe he'll see this. You know, I think he was looked at as like a talented little head he was the kid who he was breathing on the mic in FPL or Rank S or whatever, and after he would die, you know, I heard him say that he started chewing gum so that he wouldn't sigh on the mic as much or talk as much after he would die. So not only does he get to look cooler now, he's chewing gum with the cotton candy hair and the sick tattoos and all the great skins. And he's chewing gum like he's in Greece. You know what I mean? It's cool, but it fits his brand, and it's got some added value to the roster. But he's gone from that player to somebody who I just feel like the way that Twist shows love for me, I would say he would be my perfect teammate. I mean, whenever I see him talk about Kerrigan, you know, whenever they're on social media or the way he'll talk in interviews, first of all, attitude is the first thing you notice with Twist. He seems to have such a good attitude at every step of the way. Even coming off a bad result, he stands behind his teammates, which you have to respect that. And he also has been pulling his weight, which it's easy to be a nice guy when you're a dog shit. You know what I'm saying? But when you're playing as well as Twist, it's actually easy to be kind of a dickhead, you know? And I really I shouldn't be using such vulgar language this early in the morning, but I think that's a common trope as well. And Twist is one of those guys who's so talented, and everyone knew he was really good, but a couple teams and stuff and players in NA were not huge fans of him in the come up because he was like, you know, first of all, he just became better and better every year, so he's now a better player than he's ever been. And then he was pretty inexperienced, but he was a guy who had such a high mechanical skill ceiling. You're like, oh, not this again. Another super talented player who's just going to ruin a team because of like his emotional state or the way he communicates or whatever. But I think Twist has matured and developed in such a way that you just haven't seen that much. And some of the other players who have matured and developed might not show it as openly, but I think it actually is an even bigger boon when I see how he acts and carries himself on social media and how he talks in these interviews and stuff. I'm really in reverence of the amount of progress that he's made outwardly, not only for his, you know, in developing everything from his image, his brand, his clean play style to having consistent output and being not being a complete land threat to improving year over year, but just what he's shown from himself as a teammate, I feel like. And we have limited outside information on that with everybody, and I want to be fair in the sense that there are probably a lot of great teammates out there that don't talk about it and don't show that they would be great teammates, but Twist is one of them who I think puts his best face forward outwardly, publicly, when he's presenting himself. So he's a guy who's super nice, and you know, you see him at LANs. He's, first of all, I remember when I used to interview him, I think I was in would have been something Dallas in 2017. I was interviewing for Yahoo Esports. I used to just go to events and do interviews for different companies. And I think I was interviewed Twists, and maybe I'll look it up after if I remember. I always say this stuff and then I forget. And I was looking up I was interviewing Twist, and he was new to Team Liquid, I think, and Joka Steve was there. And Joka Steve is the manager of Liquid. He's a hilarious guy, by the way. And he goes, I was like, yeah, is there anything that we can't say? He's like, and then he turns to Twist and he's like, just be careful, man. And because he was like, Twist will literally just say everything. How he feels, what he thinks, stuff about his teammates, whatever it is, you know, whatever's on your mind, he's like a SoundCloud rapper. He's just going to say it, you know? And that's the thing that's great about him, especially when it comes to trying to answer some questions that people have. Twist is always just going to tell you flat out. And it's not charged. It's not premeditated. It's not third degree with Twist, okay? It's just how he's feeling. At that moment, you ask him a question, he answers. It's not, I'm playing sick mind games. I'm going to try to emotionally manipulate the guy who's interviewing me and try to get some answer or get some, you know, specific perception in the community or anything like that. He just says it. If someone asks him a question, he just says it, which is awesome. But Joka said, be careful. Twist, I buy skins. Look at this AK. It's actually a perfect AK with that. 4 I buy power hollows. I buy skins. Ridiculous. I was looking for the demo to watch in this game, and I saw, first of all, Cologne was the standout tournament this year for FaZe Clan. It's kind of like Mouse Sports. I think this tipped the scales for me when it came to picking Twists over Robs. They had at least one deep run, and that was Cologne. Like, FaZe did not have a great year overall. They started out the year badly. They peaked horribly in like summer, right before Cologne, and then Cologne, the first land that we got back, they brought, you know, obviously we have the 3rd, 4th placing for FaZe, and they were able to even beat Gambit even on this map. So that was where things did change. They end the year on a low note, I think, overall. And I also just want to give an enormous shout out to Rain, because I was calling for his head right around the summer, right before the lands came back, because at that point I wasn't convinced that the players who were good on land were just all going to be good again. And since then I've changed my mind. You know, G2 at the major, Rain when lands came back. I mean, it's just a total change. I mean, land matters. I think that question's been answered for me. What's funny about that, it was like, I was talking to Glaive, and he said that Astralis were split on who thinks LAN actually matters that much. And I think the only reason that they could be split on a question like that is because they're not LAN question marks. Like, none of the players on Astralis are LAN question marks whatsoever. And they've seen some impressive plays coming out of like teams like Gambit and Heroic and stuff like that. So they just assume because they could transition to LAN, no problem. They're the scariest team in the world in history, that other teams that played well online would also be able to transition well. But I think what we saw is there was a difference between LAN or online, and players like Twist and Rain and Astralis and all these guys are better and really can show up some of the online teams. And FaZe versus Gambit at Cologne was the first sign of that. We saw that Gambit were an amazing team, and they transitioned well to get to the placings they did. But they played 5% worse versus G2 at Cologne, and then they lost versus FaZe, which is just not a series that they should lose. But we had stories like Rain, for example, who got it together completely when it came to LAN, and not just Cologne. Over the year, I don't think we got Rain to a point where he's top 20, but in their big events, he was performing better than any of their online events, and still in some inconsistency there, and not a great ending to the year. But overall, I think there's a direct correlation between FaZe's ranking in the year and how well Rain was performing, which I think is a great sign for him. When we talk about players like Twist and Brokey, for example, they were just the pillars of the roster, super consistent throughout, the most reliable stats-wise, and obviously the reason that we see Twists this high up on the list. I think this is a fantastic year from him. And I think he did so kind of quietly, you know. He's a little bit flashier than probably someone like Robs is or whatever. But I feel like he had both a little bit of inconsistency, but also some absolutely amazing big match moments. And in his lower points in tournaments, he was still getting 16 kills or getting 18 kills or something like that. Twist wasn't getting, didn't have a year where it was just Nico levels. But it was Nico peaks, and it was also decent on the off maps. That's how I would put it. So, I don't know. Super strong placing, star player. Lots to learn from with Twist. He has very good pacing in every round. And, wins a high percentage of his duels. I've said this before, but there's really no one that's made me feel less secure as a Counter-Strike player than Twist's when it comes to watching them deathmatch. If you watch Twist deathmatch on his stream, really nothing will make you feel worse about yourself as a player, because that, deathmatch is where you're your best, right? So when you go deathmatch and you're like, man, I'm nuts for these 5 seconds where you get like 7 kills back to back, holding lower tunnels on Dust too. And then you go watch Twists, and he's your best 5 seconds in deathmatch every second of the hour when he's deathmatching. That's what's just disgusting about Twist, is that, like, you see that the aim translates into what makes him good as a player for sure. Very, very strict about high level crosshair placement, aim for the head, locking down those kills most of the time. Contrast to Naf, great stats, everything like that, but like not the same kinds of crosshair placement. Naf's aiming for the stomach. Twist is believing in the headshots, and that does make a difference for him. And I think a reason why he's just a little bit higher up. He's, kind of every bit as smart, but just, wow, also so crispy. That's your Kinder out. Yeah, that's your Kinder out of the round. So nice one from Twist to open things up. But yeah, it is just about the sheer precision, right? This guy's a surgeon when it comes to his rifle work, and that's the player that we know on the surface is there. But he's so much more than someone like Scream, for example. Way deeper, way less one-dimensional. He's such a well-rounded rifler. One of the players who you could almost just say, like, if you put Twist on basically any team, he would improve them. I can't think of a team that you could put Twist on that it would make worse. You put Twist on Astralis, I think he would make him better. You put Twist on G2, he would make him better. You put Twist, like, it's not like he could save rosters. Like, you put Twist on Mouse Sports. I mean, if you had Rops, Frozen, and Twists, yeah, I mean, maybe you could actually save Mouse Sports. Can't think of a single roster right now that if you put Twist on, you put him on Na'Vi, he could replace someone on Na'Vi. He could definitely. I think there's, it's one of the few players, I think you could put him on basically any team in the top 20 and he would make them better, which there's not that many players like that, right? There's a few. But yeah, here we are, number 12 on the list for me, and I think, the highest of praise for Mr. Twist. Yeah, the only thing holding him back, just kind of like everyone around this area, is the team results. Not super deep runs, but one thing, he stands a little bit higher than Ropson. I mean, I don't like to put too much stock in this, but his results versus tier 1 teams barely tapered off, and he played like double the maps of Rops and still managed to have like an equally or better overall performance versus tier 1 teams, even when it came to the lands, where I think Rops had a year where in the few maps they played, he did fall off a little bit versus the tier 1 team, so that made a difference for me. All right, so this is the Stockholm Challenger stage. Twist went 27-12 this map, so I think this highlights the peaks that I was talking about, where I feel like he had so many outstanding maps. In Cologne, he had multiple maps where he got over 35 kills, like 38, 40 kills. Of course, it was FaZe Clan, so a lot of their games went to double overtime, but that's why we love watching him play, right? Just paid by the round. But 2.64 rating on CT side. It was 11-2 to close this game out, and then like a 1.8 on T side. So that's why we're just basically watching the whole thing. I skipped through the first few rounds, but I wanted to watch all the magic, honestly, and we've seen some already good kills from Twists here. Trying to take it slow, and again, I think it's more interesting, honestly, when I watch back my own demo reviews, and when I'm casting, I've actually learned that when you do Counter-Strike analysis, because of the amount of repetitions that we have to put into analysis, it gets stale, and the amount of words that we have to reuse when we're casting, it is actually the thing that we're probably the reason we make as much as we do from casting, is figuring out how to say the same thing 1,000 different ways. And I have, in my casting, have completely changed, where I'm taking the first parts of games a lot slower, and also just talking about whatever's on my mind, as opposed to something about the pistol round, something about the eco round, something about the first rifle round. If the game takes me away, I go with that. But I try to be honest to myself as a viewer, and I'm doing a similar thing here in the demo reviews. Now, if I watch, I've done a few demos where I've watched the game closely, and I'll look at the nades, the round, and watch the different perspectives in the same round. Then I take those rounds and I make a video out of it. I find they have quite good analysis, and I think it's good. And in these ones where I watch maybe a round or two, or it's a game I remember, but I'm not pre-screening, something I want to react to live with everyone, and just pick a strong rating and stuff like that, an interesting map to watch. And then I'm just kind of taking what I can get, but I find that when I'm watching my own demos back, if I ever watch the videos just to see how they sound and feel, I'm actually more interested in listening to myself talk about the narratives more so than talking about some of the analysis. So of course it's all about striking the balance, but I think the narratives are really cool for the just to counter the sheer number of matches there are all the time, and how it's hard to make the same. It's hard to make the, if we got new maps and stuff, right? I mean, we're even on Ancient here. There's stuff to talk about, but dude, I mean, it's crazy. First of all, we've never seen a map get figured out as fast as Ancient. Now, that's not to say that Ancient won't change, but the level of maturity with the things that have been brought out on Ancient, right? Like at one point in CS, when a map developed, it would be like smoke the choke points, slowly figure out all the optimal smokes for the choke points, then learn all of the different pieces of utility, the optimal post plants, different things like that. And then the smokes got more advanced where you'd have like lurk smokes come out later on in the meta for the maps. You have like the top cat smoke on Mirage, which really became popular a little bit later on. Or then you have like, on Ancient, the nades just got so advanced so fast because of the way that people have already learned how to optimize maps and use smokes as ways to connect two pieces of cover and create walls in 15 seconds of, a huge advantage in one particular situation. And I feel like it's kind of nuts how good people got at Ancient. Now let's see if Tusk can handle this situation. No, we cannot. And yeah, we've just seen so much fast development on the map, which is cool. But I think what that showed us is that we need more maps more quickly because people are very smart. And even though the map might be new, we've got so much experience and so many good teams going at it and really playing a ton of CS. And I feel like it's made it so that, we can bring a map into the pool and people will pick this thing apart and they'll take it down to the bone marrow. You know what I mean? They're going to eat this steak and then they're going to break the bone in half, suck the bone marrow out. They're going to be chewing on the bone within 6 months with how good people are getting at figuring these maps out quickly. I believe in Kerrigan clutch. One of the most underrated clutchers, okay? Sometimes his aim lets him down, Kerrigan, but honestly, I've never seen someone come so close to some of the greatest 1v4s of all time. And that sounds like some kind of slight, but I'm serious. And the thing is that you'll never see those clutches again because he didn't win them. But if you know, okay? Kerrigan has had some insane attempts in 1v4s and 1v5s and stuff like that. He's brought them so damn close. It's sadly his mechanics. It's a shame because Kerrigan is always surrounded by the most mechanical gods, right? So they highlight the discrepancy in mechanics. We'd all look like Kerrigan if we played with them. You got Brokey, Twists. It's just, yeah. All right, let's see if we can win this 4v4 retake. Be aware of that lurk until the last second. Wow, Twist I could fully see one on his screen, but it's just committed to dodging flashes. Look how careful he is. Oh, is that one for the top box? No, can't win that duel. All right, move on forward. Hey, look, the game's competitive. 8-8. This smoke, these smokes, these counter smokes, for example, seeing how these came out, it's like, oh, you're smoking in snipers. I'm smoking down the stairs. That's countering your smoke entirely. Remember these? It's kind of like a game of rock paper scissors, but it also doesn't make sense like rock paper scissors, right? Of course, paper's not going to beat rock. So in rock paper scissors, imagine that it's smoke molly flash, but the counter for smoke. Or the counter for rock is just rock again. So to counter a smoke, use a smoke. If someone throws something to deny you information, whatever, try to counter with an equally threatening smoke. That's the logic behind the smoke that goes down the stairs in that situation. A few steps down, but now if they come out, they know your smoke's there, and they suddenly don't have the ability to even use the smoke that they threw, which was supposed to take your vision out in the snipers. So that's some of the logic that you see with how smokes have gotten evolved. English? How smokes have evolved into English? How people have developed smokes over the years and how to counter smokes in general. You can use a smoke to counter a Molotov, but you can't use a molly to counter a smoke, right? You have to use a smoke, and it's a great way to counter a smoke is to use a smoke. Look at that crosshair placement. Actually, pristine crosshair placement right there. We hit 11 and 2 on this half, so it's gonna get worse. Flick could not trade him. Any more frags? That first frag to deny Yakinder. That's a game changer. That's an absolute game changer. I gotta steal this crosshair. I'm switching reses. See the double up in snipers. Let's see how we play it. I was actually thinking a lot of the games we watch. I haven't watched the CT side twist ancient demo, but A lot of the games that we watched, oh, wow, it's very careful about the timing there. One, to make sure if someone's going to spam again, that he can make sure to punish it. Doesn't react too quickly. I really like that. I was thinking Twist was like some kind of B anchor, but he's not, right? Because you always just see him rotate there late into the V1, V2 area and get clips in that position. But of course, here he is playing mid. I think that was an op flash. See, quite peaky here inside of snipers. And because he kept full vision that whole time, he's really just not even concerned about lurkers. But these lurkers in mid, they pop up. You know, you fall off the angle for 1 second, and they're up in your face like a whack-a-mole. So, but yeah, I like how he's just keeping full vision there. Let's go ahead and look at this next round. Again, we're countering smoke with the smoke here. This one's kind of key because as his teammates get farther ahead inside a cave, he's got to be making sure they can't lurk into the site, which is a big problem on Ancient. People will just leak through Banana by themselves, especially if they think you're holding on to it. It's kind of like the squeeze for like on Inferno, where you think they're playing 3B. Look how shallow of an angle. Like Twist is waiting to see if they've lurked through. This is a genuine threat that they can just walk in these days. So it's kind of a hard choke point to babysit on Banana, because it's like Banana on Inferno but shorter. So this was the position he's trying to get to, but man, the setup just relies so much on Twist here. He's got to worry about all these lurks. You got to have a very responsible player in these positions, because you got to be making sure someone's covering mid, or you're coming in to hold B. Not an easy spot. All right, let's see how he supports mid. We see Kerrigan playing mid too. That's who in my mind's eye I was like, oh, it's Kerrigan playing inside mid every single round. But it seems like it's Twist. Let's see if he plays as peaky as he did that previous round. This demo's quite interesting, actually. I really like it. I guess the 5v3 is just not playing peaky, basically. But if I was watching a demo coming into a phase match, this would be the angle I was hard clearing with an op late round, walking out mid or something. This time he'll hold the smoke. Look how many lurks he has to take care of. Such a vital player on the CT side. His teammates be pushing donut and cave and everything like that. And he's just got to make sure people don't lurk in any spot. Oh, one's out. Oof. Nearly dies. See, it's always a headshot with Twist. Skip ahead. This is a good one. They hold mid control. Now he can't fight. So I think Twist just spams there because he's like, oh, we can't fight anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I can't believe it ran out like that. So he ran out because Twist is spamming. But I feel like just looking at the minimap, there's just nothing else for... There's not much else for Virtus.pro to watch. I would have still... I don't know. That looked a little crazy to me, but hey, if he got 2 kills and they're back in the game, so it just looked quite funny. That's why it's nice to have a teammate like Kerrigan, though. He's so selfless. I do think he does need to take care of himself a little bit more, though. He can't look at himself as just completely sacrificial. You live that like Crystal life. Crystal was like the #1 example of what not to do as an IGL. Just treat yourself like an actual, crash test dummy and just fly out and let your teammates trade you. Literally not even aim. Ooh, too much damage there in that molly. But he can give the info over to Brookie. He can really just be tucked. Oh, that's so unfortunate. He got hit. Ooh, they can't even do it. It's 13-10. Finding a spot here, super close to the edge of the molly. Okay, let's see how the rotations go off of Donut. We never see him push him through mid or anything like that, so kind of curious what he'll do. And they're rifling A this time around. Oh, it's the exact, okay. Interesting smoke here. Can he jump up? Yeah, okay. The pump fake. This is what gets you sweating. They drew out some important grenades here on phase, so that was a very effective fake. And remember, if you fake one site like this, you fake A and go B, then it removes the, they use nades on that side, it removes the retake grenades, right? So let's say you fake one site and then you contact the other site or something, then no one gets to use any grenades in the whole round. Now, like, Twist doesn't have a smoke for cave. They'll have to clear it out quite aggressively. Looks like they're in a good position to do so. That swing will come. Wow, nice shot. Last one. Oh, can't cover it. Oh, he'll even die. Flit will win that. 13-11. Ooh, this game gets closer. But you see that little fake on the A side of the map? He used that smoke and he didn't have anything. That smoke could have been huge for that retake. You could have smoked basically anything there and it would have been huge. Just smoked the bomb, smoked cave, smoked long, or smoked the flank. Wow, look how sharp his aim is. This is the position where I feel like Twist gets so many highlights. Very good angle for Twists. See how he plays it. He's thinking about smoking long. If he smokes long, you can play in the site. And it would support Olaf to know that no one can just come out at him. But Olaf is still, as long as he has this pillar, and if Olaf has a smoke for himself, Twist can also smoke him if he's on the pillar and they molly it on the site exec. But as long as you can either push forward in cave or play around the pillar is okay. Or when you see a smoke and another smoke layer on top of each other, when one smoke goes up, that's where you can sometimes see silhouettes within the smoke. So be careful when you're standing inside of them and watch for them as opportunities. Ooh. Oh, that was a timing. I guess Twist would have... He would have been able to get one. Oh, this is a spot where there was just no time, actually. So Twist playing it. He made that move off the clock completely. If there was a full minute or something, I feel like you would just slow it down. But in this situation, he got one kill. That could have actually won the round, so... Looks like they'll still... Wait, what? Oh, I remember that. Am I watching the right game? I feel like I'm not. Ancient... Oh, I'm not watching the right game. I'm watching a great game from Twist, but this is a different one, actually. I don't even know if they win this one. I'm watching the wrong demo. That's hilarious. Luckily, Twist played well in this one, too. That's pretty funny. This one's going to be a little bit longer. I think I watched this from Phases, or from Vertus Pro. Maybe this was the Jame demo. I had a couple. I tried to clean up the folder. I had so many demos in there. That's jokes. This is also LAN. I don't know. This could have been Cologne, but I can't remember them playing it. Maybe they played quarters versus Virtus Pro, semis versus Gambit. Or it's just groups. I don't know. Okay. Oh, this game is so close. There was like a 1670 had like a unreal stat rating on both halves. Should watch that one. I'm gonna watch that one anyway, but sorry, he throws that long flash so the cave guys feel a little bit more comfortable pushing. They're doing a contact maneuver, so it's just a sleight of hand, just slightly. Slight with an E, slight without the E. They got on both sides of the cave here, as you can see, and that's just so that they molly one side, they can cover each other, and Twist is here looking for for lurks. I don't know if did he see one? I missed it. I was staring at the mini map. Okay, he's got his teammate coming back a little bit now. Uh-oh. Oh, what a shot from Yakindar. Yakindar. Yucky, Yakindar. Oh, I think if I watch this one for James, then I guess Virtus Pro will win it. Sadly. That is pretty funny, though. Let's see what we can do. A final attempt here. A last dance, as everyone loves to say. There was so much noise here from all their nades, so they might not be able to know that his lurk smoke is out, but they're gonna clear it, you know. The calmer it gets, the more nervous he becomes to fight that. And they have a bit of control here in cave, so maybe they're feeling okay. How come his glove does that? His left-hand glove comes up. Oh, it's an interesting move from FaZe Clan. No nades here for twists. Oh, but this might be the right idea. Yeah, they push down. And the exact look is coming maybe more heavily through cave. I don't know. Or it's a fake. They got a lot of info there. Virtus Pro quite tricky. But FaZe continue to find frags. It's just big Busterino. No, you get busted down. This is 16-14. I'm curious, cause I don't even know the outcome. Oh, no kid already. All the util is gone. Oh, he's out. Okay, the 16-14. That's it. All right. Okay. The 16-14. All right, that's a funny one. Pick it. Watching the wrong demo, but it still be a good one. That's the kind of luck I need in my life, right? And okay, so the story is we might have a situation next year where Twist, Brokey, and Rops will all be on the same team. That is a tournament winning lineup. You have Twist, Brokey, Rops. That leaves some room for some inconsistency between, you know, potentially Rain and Kerrigan. And also, I just feel like that's almost like a major winning roster, right? I think so. I think that's a team that could definitely win a major. And I feel like they're gonna be amazing. I mean, they're gonna be really good. So I'm looking forward to that one. We're already 40 minutes deep on this, so I got to record the intro as well. Okay, hope you enjoyed that one. That was Twists, our number 12, Mr. Number 12 on Ancient. And who you got for tomorrow? Let me know in the comments below. See you then. As always, be safe.